This video is going to demonstrate the REVIT models that Vicon has created for a number of their security cameras. So at this point, I am going to insert, actually I've already inserted a number of cameras into this project, but a user would browse to the location where they saved those cameras, whether it's under a project folder or somewhere on their network. They could insert the cameras, and the cameras will come into their model as a component under the security device category, and they can be placed on any face, any surface in REVIT, whether it's a wall or a ceiling or a roof, for example. So I'm going to place one of these models right here on the exterior wall. They actually come with, some of the cameras have a default mounting height already set. In this case, I can set the mounting height or the elevation manually for this camera, so I can have multiple cameras inserted at different heights across my project. If I click on the camera, I can see some other properties. I'll go to Edit Type and look at the type properties for this camera. Besides the preview, I can actually see the materials that have been applied, and I can change them and make them my own materials if I want, but they already have the Vicon materials established. I can see all of the electrical parameters, so I know what the voltage is and what connector there is. I can see the electrical loads and that type of information. And I can also see the website for the company, this type of camera, as well as the actual documentation for this specific model. And then there's other information about the manufacturer and the camera model here, as well as some information on the humidity range and temperature ranges for each camera. There's also a graphic here that I can enable called Field of View. So if I check that on and hit OK, you'll see a graphic that represents the field of view for the lens for this camera, and each camera has a unique field of view depending on the lens that comes with that camera. And when I select the camera, in the properties here, I can change the target length. So if I'd like to see what falls within the view range of this camera at different lengths or different distances, I can do that. And I can see basically the minimum view range of that lens, and the maximum view range is kind of a different color to depict the two. And I can also change the angle of rotation if I'd like to aim this camera in a different direction and see what falls within the field of view at this point. And it'll update that graphic depending on what direction I want to look in my model. And that graphic will work in elevation view, plan view, section view, or 3D view. Any view that you're in, you'll be able to see that graphic, and you can turn it on or off as you wish. And you can also adjust the detail level depending on how much detail you want to see in your different views.